When someone starts training and going to the gym, there are usually four main goals in mind that they want to achieve. Either they want to bulk up, to put on size, mainly muscle, or cut down, lose weight, mainly fat, put on strength, or recomposition, which is putting on muscle while losing fat at the same time. It's also referred to as toning as well, where you try to get a more lean physique without losing any amount of muscle per se. And to do this, each one requires a different type of training method and a different type of dieting as well. But it's very simple, and today we'll go through all four and so you know how to train for what you want to achieve. So firstly, we have bulking. Bulking is the one that I've had the most experience with personally. I've tried dirty bulking, clean bulking, keto, and other forms of dieting as well. And I can tell you from experience, a lot of YouTubers tend to overcomplicate this so much. To bulk up dieting wise, all you have to do is to calculate how much calories you consume and eat more than that. So let's say your maintenance calories is 2,000 per day. That's for you to keep the same body weight that you have now. So all you have to do is add 200 and try to hit that every single day. And make sure that most of your food comes from protein. And most YouTubers will overcomplicate this, but then you need to hit exact calorie targets, exact protein targets, exact fat target. And trust me, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do any of that. Unless you're an athlete competing for an event, it's not necessary. All you have to do is just find out how many calories you need, eat more than that, and you're good to go. And as for methods, I would highly advise clean bulking. Do not dirty bulk at all costs. So dirty bulk, those who are not aware, is when you bulk up and the main goal is to eat as many calories as possible, doesn't matter from what. So it can be junk food, KFC, McDonald's, frozen food, whatever. And the issue with that is yes, you've seen results quickly, you put on size quickly, and it's not restrictive at all. But a lot of the extra weight you put on is going to be fat. And because you're not eating that healthy, you're eating a bunch of foods that are full of oils, salts, and saturated fats, you will feel sluggish and your performance wouldn't be as good. Compare that to clean bulking, and that's when you eat a relatively healthy diet. It doesn't have to be that restrictive. A lot of YouTubers, a lot of people out there, they just want to eat salads and chicken all day. But honestly, you can keep whatever your current diet is, just rice, pasta, chicken, whatever. Just make sure you hit the protein intake and you're at calorie surplus. And with that, you're eating healthier, so you have more energy. You're eating salads, you're getting the proper micronutrients, so you're able to have more effort to put into your performance. And results are slower, but much more efficient, because you will still be putting the same amount of muscle as the person who is on a dirty bulk. If not, you should be putting on more, because due to eating well, you're naturally going to be able to have a better performance. Because you're eating healthier, able to lift more weights, you don't feel sluggish, you naturally put on more muscle. The person who's dirty bulking, even though it might get bigger quicker, all of the extra weight is fat. Trust me, I tried dirty bulking for 2 years back in high school, and it did not work out. I did put on a decent amount of muscle because I was training very hard. However, I would have put on a lot more or get better results if I simply clean bulked. So to summarize, make sure you're in the calorie surplus and don't complicate it too much. Just try to hit your protein intake and your calorie intake. And training wise for bulking, if your priority is to put on mass and size rather than strength, then you should focus on training in the 3 to 5 set zone, while aiming to do 8 to 14 reps for each set. When aiming to build muscle, you want to put your muscles under as much time under tension as possible, meaning that you don't necessarily have to go and deadlift 100 kg. Just focus on slow, controlled movement, activate the muscle, feel the contraction, and put it under as much period of tension as possible. And secondly, we have cutting. Cutting is the opposite of bulking. So once you calculate what your maintenance calories are, you want to take away 200 from that rather than adding 200. Because with cutting, because you want to lose weight, you want to be on a calorie deficit where you eat less calories than your body needs. And when you do this, your body will find the energy elsewhere by either using your muscles or your fats. Now, ideally, in a successful cut, you will lose as little muscle as possible and lose as much fat as possible. And when cutting, to avoid losing any muscle, you want to make sure that when training, you engage every single muscle throughout the week, and you want to try to hit the same weights you can while you are bulking, and you want to make sure that you don't leave any muscle untrained. For an example, a lot of people don't train legs, so if you're going to cut and you engage your upper body a lot, odds are you won't lose that much muscle from your upper body. However, when it comes down to legs, you might lose a lot of muscle there. So to have a successful cut, you want to be on a light calorie deficit as well as keep the muscles engaged throughout the week. And once again, I want to emphasize, don't go on too much of a cut. You always hear people going on a 1,000 calorie diet or 500 calorie diet to cut down. If you do that, you will lose weight ridiculously fast. However, a lot of that weight loss will be muscle. Because what happens is, because you're losing weight much faster, you're not giving the muscle the proper engagement it needs to remain, because your body begins to think, oh, okay, it's not eating enough energy, let's cut down the muscle, so the body becomes more efficient, because the less you weigh, the less energy your body needs. So, like I said, make sure you keep the muscles engaged, as well as make sure you're on a light calorie deficit and take it slow, and have a long period of cut rather than just 1 month 1,000 calorie diet. Thirdly, we have strength, and this is one that a lot of people have a misconception of. You see, your body can build muscle without building some strength, but it can also build strength without building that much muscle either. So, meaning that when you first start going to the gym, your body will naturally become much stronger, not because it's building that much muscle, but because it's now learning how to contract the appropriate muscles. Its form is getting better, it knows how to use muscle fibers properly and engage them. So your strength goes up simply because you're getting better at that specific movement, whether it be deadlifting, squat, etc. And with strength, you don't necessarily need to have muscle. You want to have as much size as possible. If you look at the biggest powerlifting competitions, you see all the guys there are huge, with both a lot of fat and a lot of muscle. So meaning if you want to build as much strength as possible, that is primarily your focus, then focus on eating as much as possible. Try to get a very high calorie surplus and simply put on mass, and all of it has to be muscle if your goal is to build strength. And of course, most people go to the gym because you want to get an attractive body, you want to build a lean physique, and you can also do that without necessarily focusing on the full strength aspect. Like you said, naturally the more muscle you build, you will put on strength. It's just that you can also put on strength if you make it your focus, and you can increase that without necessarily focusing on the muscle building aspect, if that makes sense. And lastly, we have body recomposition. This is where you put on muscle and lose fat at the same time. And honestly, this is very overlooked in my opinion in the fitness industry, because if you're someone who is new to lifting, someone who is overweight, so for men, you're looking at around 20% body fat or higher, or if you're someone who has been training for the past few years but has gotten out of it for the past few months, is now getting back into it. So in the case of someone who's overweight, what that person can do is go on a light calorie deficit, and because you're on a calorie deficit, your body will lose weight. However, all the body fat you have is essentially energy reserves. So your body will continue to put on muscle and strength by using the energy reserve that you have in the forms of fat. And after a few months, your body would have lost that fat, but also has put on some amount of muscle. And if you're someone who is new to lifting, the second scenario, everyone hears of newbie gains, where the first year at the gym you put on 10 pounds of muscle and have really good results. With each passing year, you go less and less because your body begins to adapt to your training. So if you're someone new to the gym, all you gotta do is go on a very light calorie surplus. What happens is your body will put on muscle because your calorie surplus. You won't put on that much fat because, again, the calorie surplus is very low, meaning you're primarily putting on muscle. And because you're in the newbie gains period, that muscle building process will be amplified for that first year, meaning you put on a large amount of muscle without putting on any fat at all. And if you're someone who is experienced in training and is getting back into it, very often there's a thing called muscle memory, where let's say you go out training, you get back into it, your body kind of remembers that you were in shape and able to get back in shape much faster. You see this very often with athletes who go off season and they become a bit not obese, but kind of a bit chubby, kind of get that dad bod. Then back in the season, all of a sudden they're back to athlete level physique. That's because your body doesn't remember that you were in that shape once and is able to get back into it. I'll leave a study in the description that explains it much better. But Shaquille O'Neal has done it previously in an advert where he purposely put on a lot of fat and just got back in shape just to sell his new product. Cool, and that's everything from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them. If you agree or disagree, let me know. I'd love to get some extra insight on this. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing, it massively helps us out. Take care, and hope to see you next video. Bye bye.